Are you struggling to stay consistent with your habits or take action towards your goals? Trust me, I get it. For years, I used to procrastinate, get distracted, and feel stuck until I discovered these 4 accountability methods that completely changed everything. After using these tools, I finally built up a consistent exercise routine, developed a daily meditation practice, improved my diet, and started to make real progress in my business. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to hold yourself accountable, stay motivated, and build lasting consistency so that you can actually achieve your goals. Number 1, create a habit tracker. A habit tracker is simply just a calendar that you mark off each day as you complete your habit or goal. It sounds too simple to be true, right? But it's actually one of the most powerful ways to hold yourself accountable, and it's even been backed by research and science. And here's why it works. Humans naturally hate breaking the streak. That's why big apps like Snapchat or Duolingo have streaks, because it makes them more addictive, because it taps into our desire of wanting to keep the momentum going. We don't want to let our progress fall. It's also been shown that when you tick off your habit or your task at the end of the day, this then releases a small hit of dopamine in the brain, which signals to your brain a sense of accomplishment and that you're making progress. That positive feedback then reinforces the behavior, and so you're more likely to want to do it again. And honestly, speaking from personal experience, there's no better feeling than looking back at the week and seeing all of the ticks, seeing all of the progress that you have made. That in itself is enough to boost your motivation and encourage you to keep going. Another reason habit trackers are so effective is because of honesty. Because when you miss a day, you can visually see it, and it's been shown time and time again that many of us often fool ourselves into facing the reality of our true progress. Research has shown time and time again that people who try and eat healthier usually really underestimate how much they're actually eating. Or people with the high screen time often don't realize how many hours they're actually spending scrolling. But a habit tracker shows the truth, and that accountability is crucial in helping you to face the reality. And I'll be honest, I used to be a bit of a perfectionist with mine. If I messed up or slipped up and missed a few days, I used to want to rip it down and start fresh. But that's exactly the point of a habit tracker. Seeing a few missed days isn't failure, but it's data. It shows you that, okay, it's time to get back on track. And that small moment of discomfort actually acts as a motivator to move you forward instead of just giving up. And so here's a tip. Place your habit tracker somewhere you'll see it every day. Don't just scribble it in a journal and then forget about it. Put it on your fridge or beside your coffee machine or on your work desk. That way, the visual reminder keeps your habit front and center without you having to constantly think about it. Do not underestimate the power of a simple habit tracker. Number 2 is creating deadlines to boost action. One of the biggest reasons we don't make any progress with our goals is because we don't feel any urgency to. We tell ourselves, I'll get to it tomorrow or I'll get started next week, but before we know it, days, weeks, and months have gone by and we haven't took any action. So this is where self-imposed deadlines come in. Deadlines create a sense of urgency and force you to take action now. And the reason why this works is because of the powerful concept known as Parkinson's law, which means work expands to fill the time available for its completion. In other words, if you give yourself an unlimited amount of time to complete a task, well then it's going to take you forever. For example, if you say, well, I have 2 weeks to finish my essay, chances are very likely that you're going to wait until the end of those 2 weeks to finish your essay. But if you set a clear deadline, even one that you impose on yourself, this automatically increases your focus and efficiency. Because let's be real, if you suddenly had a deadline for an essay in a couple of days, you would probably have to get yourself into gear, right? You'd suddenly stop wasting your time watching Netflix or scrolling on your phone, and instead, you'd have to prioritize getting things done. And so creating self-imposed deadlines forces you to take action now rather than waiting later. And so here's how I would apply this. Break down your goal into steps. Let's say, for example, someone who wants to eat healthier. A few first steps for them might be to search for a meal plan or Brainstorm breakfast, lunch, and dinner ideas. Choose 3 recipes to start with and then cook the first one. And so then you want to schedule it on your calendar and set deadlines for each task. For example, find a meal plan by October 30th. Brainstorm ideas for breakfast, lunch, and dinner by November 2nd. Start cooking 1 recipe on November 3rd. When you see a concrete end date, your brain naturally starts to plan backwards because it thinks, well, if I need to get this done, well, then I have to do this now. And I know what you might be thinking. Self-imposed deadlines? Nah, that's not gonna work. I need someone else to hold me accountable. But here's the thing, the subconscious mind is truly incredible because when it has a clear goal with a timeline, it automatically starts strategizing on how to make it happen. Honestly, this method continues to surprise me even to this day. Sometimes I'll set a few deadlines and I'll be halfway through the week and I'm thinking, no, there's no way I can finish all this. I have so much to do. But somehow, by the end of the deadline, I usually get everything done because my mind figures out a way to organize, prioritize, and execute efficiently. Deadlines don't just help you to finish tasks, but they train your brain to take action, stay focused, and overcome procrastination. Number 3 is journaling for self-reflection. As I briefly mentioned before, we often can delude ourselves from the truth and have a natural bias towards thinking that we're doing better than we actually are. Or we tell ourselves we've only missed 1 day of healthy eating when actually we've missed 3. And so this is where journaling becomes a game changer. Journaling isn't just about writing down your day, but it's about reflecting on your thoughts, your emotions, and behaviors. And it can help you to uncover patterns that you might not notice otherwise. Research shows that journaling can help to increase self-awareness, improve emotional regulation, and even enhance your problem-solving skills. And so by putting your thoughts on paper, you give yourself a mirror to clearly see why you act the way you do and what behaviors are affecting your life. And one of the most powerful aspects of journaling is having the ability to look back. Because when you look back on last month or even last week, you start to see things that you wouldn't have noticed before. Because let's be real, we live in a busy, distracted world, and so it's become easier than ever to be mindless with your actions. Sometimes we forget how far we've come or how stuck we really are, but journaling gives you that perspective. And just to quickly share with you a personal story to illustrate this point, but many years ago, I was addicted to social media with a screen time of 9 hours a day. And for so long, I knew it was a problem, but I just didn't do anything about it. And then one day in 2021, I read my journal entry from a year ago, and I was hit in the face with a massive wave of reality. I was reading all of these entries from a year ago where I was talking about how social media was wasting all of my time. I felt like I was constantly comparing myself, I felt like it was affecting my mental health and my mind. And in that moment, it was like I was able to see things from a broader perspective, and I realized that I've been stuck in this pattern for years. And honestly, that scared the crap out of me. So that very day, I deleted all of my social media accounts. And that very decision changed my life. It's what enabled me to take action on my goals, to make progress in certain areas, to build consistent habits. But I wouldn't have had that realization if I didn't see my journaling entry. Journaling gave me that perspective to recognize the problem, which gave me the motivation to take action. And so if you're serious about holding yourself accountable, journaling will help you to see yourself clearly, because it will help you to understand your patterns and then actually change the things you need to. And so a few ways to start journaling is to just start small. You don't need to write pages and pages, but writing even 3 to 5 sentences of your thoughts, your behaviors, and your feelings is a perfect way to start. You can also use prompts to reflect, such as what habits did I do today? Where did I procrastinate or get distracted? Why did I procrastinate or get distracted? How did I feel emotionally today and why? What's one thing I can do differently tomorrow? Then, at the end of the week, try and make it a habit to reflect. Skim your entries and look for any trends or wins or areas that might need improvement. This will help you to turn journaling into a feedback loop for accountability. Now, the 4th method is to create external accountability. Research shows that when we know people are watching, we tend to act differently. This phenomenon is known as the audience effect, and it's been shown to increase motivation, improve performance, and help people to overcome procrastination. And so sometimes the best way to achieve your goals is to bring other people into the process. And this could be as simple as finding a gym buddy, hiring a coach, or even posting your goal publicly on social media. For example, I did this with my 30-day discipline challenge on YouTube. I told people my goal, I was vlogging it every day, and suddenly I felt a natural pressure to be consistent because I knew other people were watching. And you don't need a lot of followers to do this. For example, you could share on your Instagram story, for the next 30 days, I'm going to do a 40-minute walk each day and share proof. And then every day you have to upload your walk. And if no one comments or reacts or likes, it doesn't matter because you're not doing this for them, you're doing it for yourself. But still, just knowing that someone could be watching your progress can act as a propellant to help you stay on track. And so if you can create some type of system where someone is aware of your goal, whether it's your friend, making a public post, or even hiring a coach, this will dramatically increase your consistency and help you to follow through. Click here to learn my biggest habit building mistakes, and I hope this video helped you. All the best.